Hi guys, welcome back to the Princess Tiffany news channel. I am Tiffany, I'm your host, so let's get into this. So Meghan has gone on record referring to herself as a slave princess. Now, you know what I think about this? I already think it's more victimhood narrative, more poor me narrative, and the truth of the matter is that Meghan was not treated as a subordinate in the firm. She just did not want to fulfill her royal duties, and she wanted to be of service to herself, and she wanted everything to be about Megxie. Me again, look at me. I'm Rachel Ragland, and this is my show. And that's just simply not how it works when you are a member of a firm, a cohesive organization that works together. So this article has dropped on Radar Online, I believe. But before that, what I really want to talk about is the reality of Meghan's very short, tiny stint in the royal firm. It was filled with her butting in front of Queen Elizabeth II, her husband interrupting people, and her delusional desires that she had of obtaining Prince William right underneath Catherine's nose. So I just wanted to play this first clip for you because I thought it was quite funny, but it really highlights what she was doing when she was a royal, and it was nothing to do with serving the public. It was all about her own interests and her wild jealousy of Catherine, our current Princess of Wales. Let's get into this. Take a look at this. So you can see the death stare there. I mean, so there's more clips that I wanted to share with you guys, which I thought was quite hilarious. The second one is this. So this clip was actually captured during or just after the procession for the late Queen Elizabeth II. And you can see her body language towards Catherine and the way she retracted away from Catherine. This kind of gives us an insight and a snippet as to why she wasn't enjoying her time at the royal firm and why she couldn't fulfill her royal duties. She was too jealous, along with Harry, of Catherine and William's placement in the line of succession. There's another clip here that I want to share with you guys. It has clips where it throws back to the beginning of Meghan's entry into the royal firm and the way in which Catherine was all embracing and very friendly. And then you can see as her time proceeded, being a member of the royal family, their relationship changed and Meghan became very embittered and very jealous. And the paparazzi was fortunate enough to capture all of these images of Meghan basically giving Catherine death stares.
Going back right to the beginning, when we were looking at the different ways in which we could all work with the foundation, and I suppose I'd learnt through sort of meeting some of my patronages that there was sort of all these underlying causes across so many different sectors. Mental health just kept on flagging up every time, whether it's with addiction or school support, and with.
So another very interesting clip which reveals why Meghan was having such a difficult time in the royal firm is this one, which reveals her desires for William. So let's watch this clip together.
Realized that Meghan dared to seduce William in front of Kate, who's pregnant. But rats can only live in dark and damp corners. At a charity event, Meghan placed her hand on Harry's arm, but her eyes wandered toward William. This detail was caught by pregnant Kate. At another event, after shaking hands with guests, Kate naturally stood beside William. Meghan mimicked her. After shaking hands, she also moved closer to William.
Media, and this is why Harry and Meghan detested the British media. A lot of the media did actually capture a lot of clips and images of Meghan looking up at William in a desperate way, desiring him, trying to entice him, trying to make small talk, and he just wasn't having it because he knew what she was about. He knew that she was an opportunist. He knew that she was not genuine about Harry and that she was simply trying to wreck his marriage with Catherine so that she could quite possibly be the future Queen of England. And William just wasn't about to let that scandal happen. She didn't like this at all.
Harry noticed Meghan's restlessness and quickly stepped forward. He placed his left hand on Meghan's back, signaling her to behave. But the persistent Meghan clearly hadn't given up. While viewing the floral arrangements, she pulled Harry's hand and leaned toward William. Even more unsettling was the way she looked at William. Fortunately, William had no interest in these antics. When
you can see in William's face there, he's just like, no, I'm not. Stop talking to me. I'm happily married. Go away.
Whenever Meghan tried to interact with him, he would avoid her by adjusting his scarf. Now that he and Kate have gone through the trial of her cancer, their relationship is even stronger. Meanwhile, Harry has been making frequent trips to London, seemingly seeking a return to royal life. So, you think Kate would stop Meghan from returning to the royal family? No one...
Meghan's never going to return to the family, we all know that. But this is an old clip. So what I really want to do is get into the article quickly to wrap this up. And I'm going to go into some of her wild, delusional claims. Radar exclusive: how Meghan Markle felt like a slave princess when she was part of the royal family, and why it's driving her hatred of the idea of Harry going back to the firm. A slave princess, come on. But we know that, of course, she's trying to insinuate accusations of racism, and she's trying to throw accusations of racism at the firm yet again, with the whole narrative of she was being treated as less than because she's a woman of color, blah, 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 blah. We know this. Meghan Markle has privately described her time as a working royal as feeling like a slave princess. RadarOnline.com can reveal a phrase insiders say typifies her tendency towards hyperbole, given she lived in luxury but resented being told what to do within the standard palace rules. The 44-year-old Duchess of Sussex is said to have struggled with restrictions on her behaviour and rank compared with Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She struggled with palace protocol, and we did see a lot of this. Meghan oftentimes was interrupting Harry. She walked ahead of the Queen, and she just couldn't really understand where her placement was. Well, at least she did understand. She just didn't want to respect it. I'm actually going to play this clip quickly for you guys of Meghan disrespecting Queen Elizabeth II herself, because I really think it's an accurate depiction of what she was doing in the family. So I'm going to skip forward quickly to the car scene, which I think makes interesting viewing. So we're here. So this is the famous car scene whereby Meghan was pictured, in fact, going ahead of the late Queen Elizabeth II, and the royal courtiers, as you can see in the clip, dutifully reminded her the Queen goes first, the Queen goes first. Now, not only was the Queen a senior member of society, I mean, any person who's got half a brain cell would understand that you let elders go before you. But Meghan wasn't having any of that because she's so disrespectful. And so you can see her pushing her way in past the Queen and not respecting any royal protocol at all. I'm going to pause it here, but you can actually see some of the onlookers looking horrified as she did this. I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting. Right. So in comparison to that, I'm just going to play a clip of our beloved Princess of Wales currently, Catherine, and her relationship with the Queen, and how you are meant to act in the presence of not only an elder, but also the current reigning monarch. So I'm just going to play this clip where we can all see the way it's meant to be done. And so in this clip, you can see William dutifully respecting his late grandmother, and Catherine talking to her and actually acting like she is in the presence of the reigning monarch and respecting an elder. Can you see the way in which she's tentative and she is careful to not walk ahead of the Queen? It's not very hard to do, really, is it?
natural beauty of arid landscapes.
I mean, she was such a sweet lady. May she rest in peace. So, I mean, Meghan Markle is essentially moaning yet again. I'm probably going to wrap up a little bit more of that Radar Online article just to summarize this video about the way in which Meghan is essentially complaining unnecessarily. A superstar forced to follow rules. Quinn, writing in his new book, Gilded Youth, claimed Markle hated the fact that she had to do what she was told and to go where she was told in the endless and to a large extent pointless royal round. He said she was a global superstar in her mind, but was being told what she could and could not do, what she could and could not say, and she hated it. And I think that is true. Quinn also says she said she felt like a second-rate princess during her time with the royals. Well, in my personal opinion, the way she's conducted herself thus far and since leaving the royal firm, she has acted like a second-rate princess. So there was the anger over the Frogmore Cottage housing, and this was widely played out in the British press, where Harry and Meghan moaned about the height of the ceiling in Frogmore Cottage, and they wanted to be gifted, or a gift to be bestowed upon them, of a bigger house, a house that they hadn't actually earned. The writer also exposes Markle's rage over her realization she and Harry would not be housed at Windsor Castle, and says she was fuming when the Diva Duchess discovered they were instead given a modest Kensington Palace cottage. I believe that, to my knowledge, Frogmore does have at least 4 bedrooms, but how many rooms does a family of 2 at the time? They didn't even have 1 kid. How many rooms does a couple really need? So there's just a lot of fluff in this article. Of course, they're going over her moaning, her whining, and all of her general tripe. I'm going to summarize this with, I mean, I'm not surprised. This is Meghan. This is Megsy, the delusional lady who has now resigned herself to the mucky mansion in Montecito along with Sparry. So with all that being said, guys, I'll be back with another video. Take care. Bye, guys.
We know, and I watched as they built a statue of me from all the debris. So yes, I've always been a charitable person. It's part of who I am. And then when I married Haz, it was amazing as we could do charity every day. But it was like every single day, it was too much. So we took a break forever. And now that's allowed us to both rediscover my own happiness. Our own happiness.
That's lovely to hear.